I just want to go back to, the honorable member from Tongo spoke very well. And I was convinced largely by his submissions. But again, going back to the birth certificates, there was an undertone from this side confirming that even though the birth certificates we have been referred to, that the charges have been increased for, are delayed birth certificates, I just want to remind him that in many parts of Sierra Leone, you have no option but to go for delayed birth certificates because the facilities are not available in many parts of Sierra Leone. That is just what I want to say. As I said, I was convinced largely with his submissions. Mr. Speaker, on the timber,
he's fasting.
On page 6, I just want to call the attention of the minister. Maybe when he is responding, he will also respond to what I'm going to say. Definitely, funds have been set aside for afforestation. But as the honorable member from Cambia said, we need to monitor the afforestation that is going on. The funds are there, but is it being implemented? Are the funds being used for the intended purpose? Eventually, we will have to monitor that. In truth, I think it was the honorable member from Moyamba with the green tie. From the greenhouse, he talked about the cubic feet being mentioned in legislations, but containers being charged. Now, we are trying to convert that to container. I just want to remind the minister that we also have the Weights and Measures Act, not a bill. I was trying to Google, but I'm being challenged. We have the Weights and Measures Act that changed the pump price from gallon to liter, from miles to kilometers. It is a legislation which must be complied with. So if we have to go out of that legislation, something else must be stated in this document to give that exemption. When we were young, in the 60s and 70s, when we were young boys, not now that we are old, we had keep quiet. Measurements were imperial, and now we have converted that to metric. Mr. Minister, I don't know whether I'm making sense. Because definitely what the honorable member from Moyamba said makes a lot of sense, but he was confusing he was too young. No, you are still young.
Maybe not born then. When we had the imperial measurement.
So, Mr. Minister, when we go to committee stage, before we deal with Section 25A, I want us to consider the Weights and Measures Act so that whatever law we pass will not contradict or be inconsistent with the laws that we've already passed in this House. Because this timber, and there is also this impression that is going around. The Finance Act 2021 is going to take effect in January 2021. It is not a retroactive law. So those that are giving wrong impressions or perception outside must also advise themselves and make sure that the messages they pass are correct.